Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, aka your boy got Harden on the squad. But anyways, we're not talking about that today. But as always, I'm joined by my co-host Brandon. What is going on, my guy? And today we have a very special guest. As always, you know we like to bring that fire. So we got my guy Tone DeShields. How's it going, brother?
My man, what's going on? First things first, I appreciate you for just having me on. I appreciate both of you guys for, just giving me the opportunity to, tap into your fan base, tap into your supporters, man. And, I'm grateful for you guys just accepting me open arms. And, let's talk this good Eagles talk, man, because we just got out of purgatory. And now, now we're in a place where we're trying to find who's going to lead us to the promised land, from this point on forward, man. Right. Coaching, down to, personnel. A lot of things are coming, but again, I'm grateful for you guys allowing me to come on and let's get it.
Yeah, you already know, man. We always got to put on for the Eagles creators because that's where it is. We got the best creators on YouTube. It's pretty easy to see. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that is already in the chat. We already got a bunch of comments. Already got 11 people in here. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you have not seen Tone before, be sure to go in the description, check the link in there, go to his channel, check his videos out. He drops a lot of knowledge. He's a very realistic person, and that's what I love about him. So definitely do that. After the show, though, we got some things we got to talk about. So
yes, sir.
Obviously, like you said, we got to see who's going to be our head coach. Like nothing happened, too big today. Nothing crazy. But how are you guys feeling so far about the names being thrown out? I see the cheese already, Brandon. Brandon's ready to talk about them. So how are you feeling about these names that are being thrown out so far?
I think it's pretty cool. As a guy that when I played football, I was a defensive guy. I played corner, and I just love defensive attitude. Sometimes defensive coaches just bring a different attitude to the game, especially when you see a guy like Salah on the sidelines going nuts, and it's just a great energy. So I'm kind of grateful that the Eagles are at least looking. They may not hire a defensive-minded coach to be a head coach, but at least they're looking at them, and they're looking at some of the top ones that are out there right now. So that's exciting to see. I'm still a big advocate for Duce, even though, like we've said, that talking outside of the live, we don't know exactly what Duce brings. But just listening to Duce talk and listening to the comments other players make, even though it might be cool that he's a motivator, he may not be a great coach per se, someone that can teach or anything like that, what Joe's been talking about. But I feel like the guy, he deserves a shot if he wants a shot. Us fans are kind of pushing this narrative, and we're not 100% sure if it's exactly what he wants. So, I mean, I would like to see it, but outside of Duce, I mean, I wouldn't mind a Salah. I just love his attitude. I love the charisma, and he's younger. I feel like he'd bring that swag to the team, and you get yourself an offensive coordinator that can do the job. But I would want someone that looks like he's going to bring some kind of new attitude and personality to the team rather than, I mean, Doug was great, but I want someone just kind of more rah-rah.
No, I
rah. If you get what I mean.
Agree with you. I definitely have to agree with you when it comes to Robert Staley, because you just see him on the sidelines of those 49ers games. He's pure energy, and that's my kind of guy. I like a guy that has that battery in his back the same way I do. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's great to have someone that shows you better than he can tell you. You know what I mean? And I think we're at that point now where we need someone who's going to have their finger on the pulse of this team from top to bottom, and someone that they respect. It's someone that this front office will respect as well, and someone that won't be pushed around like a Doug Peterson after a certain point, because it got to a point where it seemed like Doug Peterson was just, even though he had no power, it seemed like he just let it. He allowed it to get to that point. He let that happen. I feel like we need someone who's going to put their foot down, who's younger, a more vast mind. And Robert Saleh is definitely one of those people. I want to bring up another name as well. I want to bring up Arthur Smith from the Titans. I definitely want to bring him up. He turned the Titans around, especially when they had that 2-4 start that one year, and they bounced back and ended up in the AFC Championship. So he has a pretty great offensive mind as well. And just going off the numbers, the Titans ranked first in red zone efficiency this year with 75%, third in rushing offense with 138 yards per game, and fourth in yards per play with 6 yards per game. So we gotta look at things that we got to approach this from where our weaknesses are. And those are a lot of our weaknesses where Arthur Smith improved the Titans. And if we bring in someone like him, maybe he can turn us around.
Facts. Yeah, I'm all about somebody that has a record of development. I know I've said it a bunch, you know what I'm saying? Brandon probably tired of hearing me say it, but that's really all I want. If we're going to be in this kind of lull for a little bit, at least try and get these guys, along the way, get them going. Shout out to Joey Shakes 72 in the building. My guy, Joey Shakes. I don't know why I said the 72. I'm so in like the mode of just reading the whole
read across. Yeah.
Shout out to Joey Shakes.
Listen, I call Joey Mr. 10K.
Yeah, he's that guy, man. He's that guy. Appreciate the congrats, man. That's the brother. Shout out to Speak Easy in the building, Mr. Philly in the building. Shout out to Philly Insider Podcast. Says y'all checked out any safeties yet? Been scouting them, and it's a deep safety class. We would definitely get to safeties. We would definitely get to what we got. I know you happy as hell as a Nets fan, bro. Of course. Got a lot of Let's Go Flyers. I guess the Flyers are on. That's what's up. So yeah, no, I like some of the names that I hear. I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you. That I'm liking all these defensive guys that they're bringing in. I love that we're actually not wasting time, like, and not just kind of sitting around on our hands. Like last time, I was going to say last year, but last time we had this situation where we obviously went with Doug. I feel like Doug was the guy, no matter what. I feel like they picked him, and then they kind of did a bunch of for show interviews. You know what I'm saying? So this time, at least it feels like, for face value wise, it looks like they're doing more of their due diligence.
I agree.
So I'm happy about that. Now, let me ask y'all a question now here, because we see Adam Gase, we see Todd Bowles, we see some names like that. What would your off the cuff reaction be if you woke up and you saw the Philadelphia Eagles just signed, you know what I'm saying, Adam Gase as their head coach? What would your thoughts be on that?
Well, like Adam Gase is definitely in there, though. Definitely in there. But when it comes to Todd Bowles, he, like, when it comes to certain aspects of the game, he definitely has a track record of success. Like, he's a great defensive mind, and it shows on paper. It's just that he's never been able to get the offense off the ground, it seems. Would it bother me if we got Todd Bowles as our head coach? Based off his dead track record, that would be tough. It'll be a tough thing to swallow. But there are instances where guys go to different teams and they're able to flourish. I mean, as far as coaches go, there have been instances.
Yeah. If I saw Adam Gase, I'd probably cry, to be honest. I'd shed a grown man tear, be swinging at the air, just like, don't be a menace or something. I'd be going insane. With Todd Bowles, honestly, the guy had to run the Jets, and that's just not a great team in general. I would like to believe that our team, as decimated right now and confused at the quarterback position, everything is right now, is still better than the Jets team that he had going on. So I think that if I saw him, I wouldn't be ecstatic. But like you just said, his track record, at least of being a defensive coordinator, is pretty good. And he has the experience. He's been a head coach. He kind of knows what the ins and outs kind of look like, how it is communicating with the higher ups, the GM, the owner, and kind of working that part out. So with experience comes, you can only get better in some eyes with experience, unless you're like Mike McCarthy and you're just not that great of a head coach. But I don't know. I still personally would want someone younger. We're trying to get younger as a team, and we need someone that's going to be able to understand this next generation coming up. Someone that can kind of not really be buddy, but kind of understand when it comes to like music or just culture and stuff like that. We can't have someone old with this old school mentality and personality, but we're trying to get younger as a team. It's just sometimes it just doesn't mesh well like that. So if we were to get a coach that is in his younger years that can not only, even if we're growing and we need another season to grow, at least we have a younger guy growing with the younger guys. So that's why I wouldn't want like a Todd Bowles. I think maybe he is a little bit up there in age for my choice, but I wouldn't be as upset seeing Todd Bowles as I would Adam Gase.
Right, I agree with you. Yeah, definitely wouldn't want. Don't want either of them really, but if it was something that had to be done, like if I had to choose A or B, I'm choosing Mr. Bowles and not Mr. Gase.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator. For us.
I wouldn't be mad at that now.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be a great pickup.
He wouldn't leave Tampa at that point. Yeah. He might as well just stay where he's at.
That's true.
Who wouldn't want to work for Howie and Jeffrey Lurie? Come on now, like we have the best situation in the world.
He used to back in I think 2012. He was on the staff.
I think we need to bring someone in who's completely outside of the Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, bloodline or tree. Like I think it's time we just totally take this team into a new direction. Like, why not? Why not?
This is an opportunity.
This is a real opportunity. And let's be totally honest, by you getting rid of Doug Peterson, you clearly signified that you prioritize Carson Wentz over him. Clearly. And that's okay. But that's what that move shows. And if you make that move, you got to go all in on that. And whatever coach you do bring in, they better like Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz, the pressure is on. The pressure's on. You got what you want now. You got the guy.
More pressure. You're right.
Pressure's on. He has to improve. He has to play out of his mind. No
matter where he is, and that's no matter where he is. Honestly, whoever is going to be the quarterback and coach for the Philadelphia Eagles is probably going to be under the most unfair scrutiny of any combination in the NFL. Just simply because we just came from a Super Bowl, we just gave up our there's so much going on. We're basically what Washington was this offseason. A whole bunch of just what the heck is going on over there. Like you wake up to I feel like you wake up to a new story every day. So it's going to be really interesting. Somebody said something I wanted to get. He said Robert Saleh would probably want Micah Parsons though. So I want to ask. I want to ask you guys. What are your thoughts about that 6th pick? Would you be mad if it went to the defense? Would you be okay with a defense? Does it depend on who our coach is? How do you guys feel?
For me, it depends strictly on who's available. I'm going for best available. I'm sorry, we can't play around with our food anymore. We can't keep. Now it just so happens that mostly what's available is exactly what we need, and we need everything available. You know what I'm saying? So, we were talking about it off air before we got started. My guys that I want with that 6th pick, if they're there, I don't know what are the odds, but my guys that I want Devonta Smith, either Jamar Chase or Micah Parsons, and those are 3 guys, and they're 6 picks. So if there's a chance, it can land with you. There's a strong chance it can land with you, and trades happen. You never know. So it's either one of those guys. Now, if none of those guys are available, I trade back, because other than those guys, there aren't really any home run hits to me. Those guys are like the home run, like de facto. You can't lose when you pick those guys. They're going to help you on day one. I really like Devonta Smith. I really love Jamar Chase, and Micah Parsons. He will just change the fabric of our defense. And I think if we get Mike, and I think if we get Staley as our coach for the 49ers, we are going to get Micah Parsons or find a way to get that guy. Because I'm telling you, the way he plays, he can literally change the entire culture, the entire fabric of our defense. He can do what Chase Young did for the Washington football team for our defense. We can have that face, that identity. We haven't had an identity on defense in a long time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I only want to trade back, like you said, if it's worth it. If we're getting something in return that you just cannot pass up. But like you said, we have a shot at being number 6. At least 2 to 3 quarterbacks are going in that first 5 before us. Someone might trade up or something like that, but 2 to 3 quarterbacks are going, which leaves the other players available. And even I would like Devonta Smith. I was watching, granted, highlight videos are always showing the best of players, but he looks explosive, and that would be great. I just don't know if he's getting past that top 30, top 4. I think if you're going to keep Tua, and if you're not drafting a lineman, you're drafting a guy that he's played with that is one of the best wide receivers in the country right now, if not the best. But I wouldn't say he would want Micah Parsons, though. That, though, kind of, to me, kind of sounded negative in a sense, where Micah Parsons, I'd be ecstatic to have him. He'd be there's only a few players that I'd be like, wow, really? We got a 20th pick type of guy at the number 6 spot. Like, Micah Parsons is a top 10 talent.
And I love him.
And I will be, like Joe's been saying, we do need identity on defense as well. Like, we do need to step our defense up. Like, it would be awesome to get that sexy pick, that wide receiver, that guy that can really open up the offense and everything like that. But defense wins championships at the end of the day. And if we're not getting a wide receiver, then Micah Parsons is it? Or I wouldn't mind a guy like Surtain at corner to try to be able to develop under Slay and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of the players. And there was somebody, I'm like scrolling. There's a lot of comments, and I'm just like kind of scrolling through them while you guys start trying to find something. But you know, a lot of people seem to really want Robert Saleh, which I would love to have Robert Saleh. And as far as the draft goes, a lot of people are, you know, they're naming off. I've heard about 5 to 10, not 10, 5 or 6 different wide receivers that people are saying, this kid's great. This kid's got that. This is a really deep draft, guys. You know what I'm saying? I would almost say I'd rather go Micah Parsons. I said this, I think maybe with the live that it was me and you, but if it was all 3 of them, I'm probably still going Micah Parsons, just because the drop off in a linebacker, you know what I'm saying, from, you know, obviously there's nobody like Jamar Chase, there's nobody like Devonta Smith, but there's no one even near Micah Parsons at the linebacker position.
No one,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and when you're talking about now you're waiting till the 2nd round, I have faith in finding somebody that can fit in and maybe be a 1st round talent at that 2nd round position spot at a wide receiver spot. But once you get to defense,
yeah,
I don't know.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. It gets real iffy on defense in like those later rounds. And you know, if you have a chance to get someone that can literally just change the entire fabric of your defense, you know, literally give you guys a culture, you take that opportunity. You know, you can plug, you know, guys like Jamar Chase and Devonta Smith, they're supremely talented. You know, they're amazing. You can't doubt that. But you know, you have a stronger chance of finding another guy that's talent that can transit, because the NFL was one of those things, cut from college to the NFL is one of those things where as though there are guys where you thought they were going to be the guy, and then they really don't. You know what I'm saying? And so it's one of those things that you have a better chance at finding a gem in the wide receiver pool versus the linebacker pool. When you have a guy like Micah Parsons that is clearly eons ahead of everyone else, you have to take that. You know, when's the last time the Eagles had a pick where the entire football world was like, whoa, like we respect them?
Yeah,
like,
they finally hit it.
Unquestionable. You know what I'm saying? When was the last time we had an unquestionable pick?
Maybe Fletch, and even Fletch was kind of it wasn't a shot in the dark. He was definitely a top 2, top 3 defensive tackle at that time.
But people were like, damn, like, why didn't y'all trade up to get Aaron Donald if he was going that route?
There was so many different, and we see what Fletcher has become. So, yeah, I agree. We haven't had that in a minute. So, I want to respond to this real quick before you go. Philly Insider Podcast, my guy, don't take this the wrong way, but he said, I've heard a lot of people say that Parsons has a big ego. I don't want another Rager throwing his hands up after every play. As far as Parsons, I know a lot of us, as a Penn State fan, a lot of us kind of got a little upset that he opted out. It is what it is. I don't think he has a big ego. I think that it's kind of a perception that kind of came up this year more so. I'm sure he has an ego. Everybody has an ego, especially when you're that good. But you know, I just want to put that out there. I don't want you thinking he's.
I'll be honest. That I respect Philly Insider Podcast a lot, right? But that thinking is what got us away from guys like DK Metcalf. You know, worrying about these pity pat things, things that you can talk to someone about. Be like, hey, what's going on, bro? Everything good? You know, like you can have conversations with people. Like these guys aren't, you know, like they're not just totally like, you know, you put a character trait on them and they're just angry all the time. You know what I'm saying?
A video game trait.
Right. It's not video game trait. So, you know, the ego thing, you can always get that in check. You know, a guy like Duce Staley will, you know, get that ass going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the best players in the league have big egos.
Right. So
like you got to have that confidence and be upset that play sucked or something.
You got to have that swagger. Besides, I like my guys. I ain't gonna lie. I like my players. I like my athletes really that talk they talk and they back it up at the same time.
Right.
It's something poetic about that.
Yeah, Brandon Graham's one of those guys. That dude's talking junk every play. If you ever hear like sound bites when they have it on the field, Brandon Graham is always chirping at somebody, and he backed it up, especially this season.
Legendary.
But to my question to you guys, let's say Micah Parsons off the board and Jamar Chase and Devonta Smith are there. What do you guys think the Eagles need more? Possession receiver in Jamar Chase, or a guy that can really take the ball in an open field and go to work like a Devonta Smith?
Oh man, I'll let you go first, bro. I got it.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say that Jamar's a possession receiver. I think they're both very similar in a lot of ways. I think that, you know, Devonta Smith is obviously a lot more explosive in a sense. As far they were just asked to do different things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who would I take? I personally would probably take Jamar Chase just because I think he's a better all-around wide receiver. But I wouldn't be mad at either. I think that they're both great. You know what I'm saying? But I would probably take Jamar Smith. I mean, Jamar Chase. I would put them together. And then that's who we pick. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna trade Wentz, and we're gonna just basically mash them together. That's how we're doing it.
Oh man, you know, I was actually watching a bunch of their tape today. Right? I was watching a bunch of their film. You know, I was watching interviews. I was really diving, into who these guys are and everything. And from a character standpoint, I like both of these guys. You know, Jamar Chase is definitely he got a little bit more swag to it. You know what I'm saying? But I think just from a physical standpoint, just as a physical specimen, I think we need to go to Jamar Chase route because he's 6'1", over 200 pounds. My man is just physical, versatile, great footwork. Now, he doesn't have, don't expect him to, outrun someone, but we're in that new NFL where it's more so just about creating separation. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can consistently create separation, Carson Wentz can dump that off, or Jalen Hurts, whoever the quarterback is, they can dump that off easily. We need someone who's going to get, again, like we mentioned with Micah Parsons, the swagger on defense. I think Jamar Chase can provide a swagger on offense. I like Devonta Smith. I like him. They call him the Slim Reaper. He got a lot of respect. But I feel like Devonta Smith is like he's more laid back. He seems more laid back. He seems more buttoned up. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that at all. But Jamar Chase, like I said, has a swagger just from a physicality standpoint. He's imposing. You know what I'm saying? He can take a beating. He can be all over. Devonta Smith can do similar things, but Devonta Smith is smaller, and those defensive guys are bigger in the NFL. They're bigger.
Right. Like Jamal Adams giving it
right. He weighs 175, and I'm not saying, oh, he's too small, but Jamar Chase, again, you can't miss with either of them. I just want to make that real clear. You can't miss with either.
Yeah, this was
You can't miss with either, but I think I'm going to go to Jamar Chase route just because I feel like he would just give the offense, the wide receiver room just a swagger.
Like you said, he's a little bit small, and we cannot be taking any chances out here in Philly because I don't know what is up in our training room or what's up with our training staff in general. They don't know how to fix an injury, so I do not know.
And real quick, our wide receivers are already on the smaller side. Like we got guys that's built like Devonta Smith already. We need someone that's going to. I look at it like weapons, right? You don't want to just have one. You don't want to just have a pistol going to war. You want to have, your rifle. You want to have your tank. You know what I'm saying? You want to have your grenade. You want to have different. You want to have different ways of attacking an opponent, a defense. And when all your receivers do the same thing, it allows for a defense to easily game plan against it. You know, when you have wide receivers that are able to do different things, like, for example, Seattle, they got a DK Metcalf who's physical, imposing, and can run every route. Then they got a Tyler Lockett who's supremely fast and flat, and you know he's a slot guy. He's a Swiss Army knife. They have different things to hit you with. We need that. I think Jamar Chase will inject the offensive the wide receiver room with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna complete the trifecta. My bad, Joe.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase as well. We kind of have a guy like Devonta Smith. I'm not saying we have his superior talent that he just put off in college, but we drafted a smaller speedster in Jalen Reagor last year, and that was supposed to help fit our offense. And he wasn't really utilized all season. I mean, granted, he was hurt for a couple of weeks, but outside of that, we didn't see wide receiver screens. We didn't see him take a slant to the house. We saw maybe a couple times he got past the defense and a couple of deep balls, but with more development, he can play that role that we need, that speedster role. And then we have Hightower, and then we have Marquise Goodwin, technically still on the roster, who's another smaller speedster. He's up there in age, but we have the speed. And I agree, we do need that possession receiver, that younger Alshon, someone that maybe we can get rid of Alshon and have a competition between. Well, who knows? Who knows with Howie, man? But we can have a competition between like a Fulgham and Jamar Chase. I would assume Jamar Chase might win that one, but at least there's competition out there. And we have, like you said, different options, different weapons, not going to the same thing and trying to do all speedsters at once. Everyone go on a fly and see what happens. Like, we do need guys that can just find that separation and then be able to take a slant 5 yards, 15 yards and stuff like that. So I did like watching Jamar Chase, and his hands they look great. Like, it looks like you throw anything his way, too high, too low, he's going to go after it.
Yeah, we're going to miss on someone. Someone's going to go before us. Someone's going to go after us that we're all going to say, damn, we should have took that man.
It's going to be Devonta. If you want to know why, because he won the Heisman. I think Devonta Smith is going to go first because he.
You think so? You know, I think that honestly, I think that all this hype is gonna play against him. Personally, I just don't see. I don't see somebody taking that high of a pick on him. To be honest with you, I could see him being like maybe our pick. I could see him dropping to number 5 and being our pick, but to be a number 2, some people are saying, you know, the Jets will take him or the Dolphins will take him at 3 possibly, but that's a hard decision to make.
Rumors are.
Say again?
Rumors are Dolphins aren't sold on Tua anymore.
Yeah,
right. So that could be a quarterback. So even if, let's say, Devonta Smith drops, there's a chance that the Bengals take a wide receiver, and maybe they want Jamar Chase because he was with Joe Burrow. So there's a chance that Devonta Smith could drop to us.
I see, me personally, man, if I'm the Bengals, and obviously I'm not, so you know, but you got to get that tackle, bro.
For sure.
What happened to your offensive franchise, your franchise player, because your offensive line was doo-doo this year, and they were healthy. That's crazy.
Bengals might go O-line. You're right. That's a good point.
I think they should. I mean, you know, it is what it is. They might not. They might, you know, see the sexy pick and you know, go with that. But I think they're still a little scarred. I think they're still a little bit scarred from, you know, the whole John Ross thing. And if you look at their wide receivers, they have some good talent at the wide receiver position. So it's not, you know, it's not a dire need for them. So I really see both of the wide receivers kind of falling down. Shout out, like I said, shout out to everybody in the chat. We are hitting the 30-minute mark. There's about 25 people in here. So I should have 25 likes. I ain't look. I'm just saying it will really help. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question for you guys. Do you think Deshaun Watson is going to play for the Texans next season?
Go ahead, Brandon. You can take that first.
Part of me wants to say yes. I don't know what the cap penalty would be, right? Because he just signed this contract. I don't know if it was an extension, if he's still on his rookie deal, like how Wentz got an extension. I really don't know the numbers that way. But I just don't see the Texans, unless Deshaun Watson pushes and pushes and pushes and really makes it public, I want to be traded rather than just speculation. I see him on the Texans, at least for one more season. I think it depends on who they draft. They're still looking for a head coach too, right? They're one of the seven teams looking for a head coach. So who they pick up as a head coach, I know he didn't love the GM pick, but you just never know. I just don't see, unless a team comes with something incredible of an offer and are willing to do a James Harden type deal and give up your future for just Deshaun Watson.
But real quick, I just found out something that just totally puts this conversation to bed. It's the contract he just signed in September has a no trade clause built in.
Well, I've saw reports that said he might be willing to move that in order to be traded. That's why I said if he really wants to be traded that bad and is willing to negotiate that no trade clause off, but I just still, unless the team's willing to give up their future, I don't see. You might as well sign Dak Prescott at that point.
See, now it hits a little bit, it hits a little close home because who knows? Doug Peterson might go in there and be that head coach. So it'll be very interesting to see if Deshaun Watson, that makes Deshaun want to stay. So if he does leave, I think it would be a team like the Dolphins. I think I could see the Dolphins saying, all right, whatever, take our third pick. You know what I'm saying? Or take one of our picks because I'm pretty sure they have like a later pick too. Take one of our picks and Tua. And if you believe in Tua, you can work it out. I mean, I could see something like that just because then both teams kind of win. But I personally do see Deshaun Watson staying there. I don't really think he has as much power as he does. He does.
I agree with you. I think he will end up being there, and it depends on who they bring in that coach. But depends who they bring in, through the draft. Let's go through the first round a little bit. Obviously, we have the Jaguars picking number 1.
Trevor Lawrence. Most likely.
Now, the Jets. Do you think the Jets are going to end up moving on from Sam Darnold?
See, that's where it gets very interesting because I think they are. But do they pick a quarterback? Do they move back? Do they try to get assets? Because, they don't have anything. They have nothing. And if they have a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? And they could package that with a lot of picks. So, it comes down to, do you love Justin Fields? I think that's a question that they have to ask themselves. Or does it become a situation with Wentz, where everybody thinks Wentz is the clear-cut number 1 and, Jared Goff went first. So maybe you get the better quarterback at the second pick. I don't know. That becomes a very interesting part because if I'm the Jets, I might be listening to some calls. I might be listening to some other GMs tell me what they think.
Right. And there's still there's still free agent quarterbacks too. You can't take that off the bat either. Where, like you said, they could trade back from that number 2 spot for a team that really wants a quarterback and go pick up like a Dak Prescott in free agency or something. He's going to be a free agent. I don't see in what way, unless Dallas signs him to a long-term deal, that he signs the franchise tag. That'd be just crazy on Dak's part. But I don't know, man. Sam Darnold at times doesn't look terrible. And I don't know if it's because it was Adam Gase. Is it because their team is just in shambles? They don't have the best offensive line. But I don't know I don't know. That's a tough one. I really don't know.
Only seen him under Adam Gase. We saw, I'm a firm believer in sometimes, sometimes it's not the ingredient, sometimes it's the cook. And Adam Gase was the cook, and I think it's probably more so him, because I've seen games with Sam Darnold just like he's slinging it. I've seen games I'm like, okay, he got so I know he has talent. I think you got to give him a fair shot under a new coach, especially the same way how the Rams moved on from Jeff Fisher, and then they put Sean McVay in there, and now they got Jared Goff beating Russell Wilson in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to at least see him under someone else. And I think you have to at least afford him that. Same thing with Carson Wentz. I think you have to at least afford him that. If things don't work out under his new coach with Carson Wentz, my theory, with that whole thing was, you have Carson Wentz start those first few games, first 4 or 5 games. You check, if everything's going well, you keep him in. If you're like 1-3, or 2-3 or whatever, and he's just not looking good, you bench him. Then you prepare to trade him before the deadline, and you try to squeeze the team for what they're worth.
You said that about Wentz. You said you would do that with Wentz.
Mhm.
See, personally, my thing with that is if we get to that point, if we get to the second point that we're like, all right, let's bench him again, nobody's gonna want that, man, especially at his contract. Like this, we have to make. I feel like we really have to make this decision preseason, like before even like I just feel like this isn't even the first time that we've benched Wentz. I know we love to make up that he had some back injury, but that man wanted to play. You know what I'm saying? And we took him out and put Nick Foles in, and Nick Foles went, and because we were talking about that Wentz would come back for the playoffs, all this, and he did not.
Right.
So
right.
Let's remember that. So me personally, you can't risk it. We would be better off. I'm more at the point right now. Bite the bullet. We messed you up. We ruined the chance of you wanting to be here. If he wants to be here, then you have to go all in on him.
Right.
If he's going to be here, you have to go all in.
That's the biggest thing. If he wants to be here, then you go all in, and you make them guys you're gonna earn it. At the end of the day.
Yeah, but if he's if it's one of those that hey, we're gonna try and make something happen and salvage it. Nah, man, just let him go. And right. we go full rebuild. That's where I agree.
That's why I'm not sold on Doug Peterson leaves. Carson Wentz is in full control now. I don't believe that. I think whoever comes in as a head coach is going to have that instant decision to make of, all right, am I going to be the guy to fix Carson Wentz?
Or the guy
are we trading him right now? Like, we need to figure something out because I don't see a world where Wentz and Hurts are on the same team because no matter which one starts week one, as soon as they play pretty bad, just because every quarterback does, everyone's going to be screaming for that backup quarterback, no matter who it is. Because right now they're both starters. They both can be starters in this league. And it's hard to keep two starters on the same team. We saw it with Nick Foles. We talked about this the other day on the live that Nick Foles wasn't a backup quarterback. He was a starting quarterback in a backup role. And once one started playing bad and is back and blah, 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 everyone wanted Foles back. So that's going to be the exact same situation. And as a new coach, that's something you don't want to have to deal with. You don't want to have to push yourself in that predicament, already get yourself in that position where the media is coming at you, the fans are coming at you, people in the locker room are picking sides, like, what should we do? That's just not good, especially if you're trying to rebuild in a sense. So that new coach needs to make a decision ASAP.
Quick. Yeah, and that's going to be the first thing he has to decide. Now, I want to ask this question to both of you guys, and I'll answer it as well. He's asked it a couple of times. So he says, Philly podcast, do you really think we're going to take a wide receiver?
No.
You guys think?
I think for some reason, one of the two wide receivers are going to be there. We're all going to be sitting there saying, oh, we got this. Jamar Chase, let's go. He's going to be ours. We're not going to take him. I don't know. I just don't trust Howie. I feel like we'll end up taking a defensive line out of, I don't even know, some weird school that we've never heard of, D2, and hope for the best. Like, I just don't know.
I'm kind of hoping that a new coach, someone who's again not from that Jeffrey Lurie, tree of Andy Reid, and like someone who's completely not a part of that. I'm hoping that bringing a new coach in will force Howie to, hey, I got to tighten up now. Like, motherfuckers are getting fired around me. Like, I gotta, I gotta tighten up while I'm next because they're calling for me, and it's getting obvious now. It's getting real obvious now because if things don't work and I'm still here, and the new guy comes in, and people are like, hold on, wait, you're still like, is it the new guy or is it you? Because everything looks the same. Like, so it's like you. We have a chance, really. This is the last draft. This is the last draft because he's here, we have no choice. But this is the last draft I'm giving Howie Roseman the benefit of the doubt. Last one.
The last one that Jeffrey will give him. That's what I'm hoping. I hope that this is not what we're going. I hope we're seeing a new Eagles. I hope that John Dorsey is going to have an actual role. Because you don't bring a man like that on here, hopefully, to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He was here all last year, apparently. So maybe that's how when he was here, I believe, most of last year. He came in like midway through the year.
He was a ghost. I had no idea.
Yeah, he came out of. I know the announcement was like midway through the year, but I'm pretty sure he was part of the team for the whole year. So. I don't know. Me personally, I want us to get the best player available. If that's a wide receiver, awesome. Do I think we're going to reach for a wide receiver?
I hope not.
I don't think that we will. I think that we'll, like I said, I think we will get the best player or whoever they think is the best player. Yeah. I could reach for a defensive end before we reach for a wide receiver, personally.
Yeah, I can see it more than anything.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't really like Jamar Chase and they see a defensive end that they really love and they piss all of Philly off and take that DN.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, we have to be prepared for everything right now.
Here's what they fail to understand. All we're really asking for as a city is to get the first round right. because like everything else after that is you rolling the dice anyway.
Exactly. And that's why I don't want to trade back. That's why I've been like so adamant that I'm afraid to trade back because I don't
want to.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it from a logistics side. Like I think me and Joey had this argument on Twitter one night, just like going back and forth. But like I understand the logistics of it, and like on paper it sounds so good, but like you said, Howie Roseman is here still. Like, so do I trust Howie Roseman making later picks? Like if you give him 5, you know, if I say, hey, take these 5 things and take the best out of them, he has a 1 out of 5 chance of messing up. I like those odds. I'm okay with those odds. When you get down to like 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20, now you're looking at kickers and punters and water boys. Like I don't trust Howie that much, right. You know, like Brandon said, once you get to, or one of you guys said it, once you get to the second round, it's like, all right, like, you know, it is what it is now. You at least got the first round, right?
Get the first round right, because like we can breathe. Like
exactly.
Now I can enjoy the draft with a beer. Like I can relax. You know like I can eat a plate. Like it's just get.
Although to say, I think we've hit outside of JJ Arcega-Whiteside, our second round picks have been pretty solid in a sense over time. Yeah, I think LaShawn McCoy was a second round pick. Miles Sanders a second round pick. Sidney Jones, he had the potential, but it is what it is. But if he would have flourished, everyone would have been like, everyone was saying that was a steal. The fact that he didn't flourish in Philly, we got Dallas Goedert. Like our second round
got Lane. No, I'm lying. Don't
Lane was like a top 5.
Yeah, no, he was like, I'm geeking. I don't know who I'm thinking about.
That was, I think that was Chip's first pick.
And we do have 32 people as soon as I make myself look like an idiot. That's what we do, you know? You guys come in at the perfect time. As soon as I say something stupid. Oh, shout out to Philly Talk Podcast. My guy, Mr. 1K. LOL, saw your video. Thanks for not shouting me out.
Damn.
Oh, man. Mikey.
You got a wrench, though. My guy. You know, a lot of these people here, you know what it is, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the shout out. But yeah, man, you know, it's gonna be an interesting offseason. It already is, right? So my question is, all right, I ask this, I feel like every time, just because I feel like it's a really good question and I love where it brings us most of the time. If you're gonna wake up tomorrow and you read the headlines, what do you want them to say? Whether it's someone getting fired, whether it's someone getting hired, whether it's someone getting signed. What would you want your headline to say for the Philadelphia Eagles that can help them tomorrow?
Brendan, you want to go first?
Sure. Let's see.
I think he's going through the whole newspaper. He's like,
you say so.
Fired.
I'm not going to take the easy road because I know the easy road that everyone would be happy about. So I'm not going to take that one.
What is it?
You know what? I'm going to actually take the easy one. I'm the first one. The first one always gets the easy one. So I'm going to say
it for you because I already know who it is.
No. Let's fire Howie. Let's put the picture up. Yeah.
The merch is up. Great segue, Shake.
No, but fire Howie. I mean, if we have Dorsey there, Dorsey, even though he ended up leaving Cleveland, and it was mostly because of his head coach hiring than anything, but he's helped that team become who they are right now. He was able to draft Baker when everyone was kind of hating on Baker, and they picked up Kareem Hunt when everyone was hating on Kareem Hunt. Granted, he definitely earned the hate at that moment in time for sure. But they were able to make moves that helped that team be where they are now. And so if we got rid of Howie and just promoted him, or was able to get a guy like fire Howie, Eagles hire Lewis Riddick, and those were the hot headlines, I'd be hype about that.
Are you saying you want us to hire Bieniemy, or are you saying we actually did?
You're talking to Moochie. I was gonna say I didn't say that.
I ain't getting no.
We definitely didn't hire because you have to go through the whole process, and I don't even think he's taking interviews.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. All right. Anyways, that would be nice.
Everyone check their phones.
Seriously, right?
Like I'm really trying.
Yeah, no, they're just trolling us. All right, no, they're just saying who they want. Okay, yeah, me. This whole week has been just random breaking news, so you never know.
That dude was probably answering to your question about what he would want to see in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm an idiot. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry.
And like, what would it need to say for me to like really be happy? Like, at the end of like you said, Howie's the easy choice. That's so easy. But if it said anything, it would say Eagles hire Staley as the head coach. You know what I'm saying? Duce Staley as offensive coordinator.
I would love something like that. Honestly, that would be like the best way to bring on more responsibility for Duce, I think. But
right, and you could really test his play calling because, like you said, Staley is a defensive minded guy, so he'll probably be calling the defensive plays. You know what I'm saying? But Duce Staley on offense, why not? That'd be the perfect way to get find out what he can do. That'd be the perfect way to find out what he can do.
If I woke up, I'm looking for Eric Bieniemy. You know what I mean? I want to see Eric Bieniemy hired. I want to see Larry Johnson called up from OSU. Forget Ryan Day. I don't know why we're even calling him. You know what I'm saying? Go call Larry Johnson. Get him from that defensive line. Let him be our defensive coordinator. I want to see Eric Bieniemy be our head coach. Offensive coordinator, bro. I'm down with Duce taking it. I really don't. At this point, bro, everybody wants Duce to have something. So Duce, you can have that. You can have that. If you want that, you can have it.
He earned it for sure. Like Duce, gave this city a lot, man. Like
he did. My thing is like, and me and Brandon have kind of argued about this off camera, but we don't know anything. What has Duce done? Duce has not done
in the game planning.
Duce has not done anything. He's been with 3 different staffs,
bro.
Any power.
But you can't just say that, Philly, because he developed LaShawn McCoy, bro. Like you can you got to give him credit for those running backs. Like we've always had a very respectable running back room, and that's not by accident, bro. That's not.
I definitely think he's a respected coach. I think he's a good developer of talent to a certain extent. I mean, I've only seen it with the running backs, and we've only really seen it. All right, but we've also only really seen it with LaShawn McCoy. He's had a lot.
What are you talking about? Miles Sanders can now block.
Miles Sanders has not really developed. He hasn't really, and it's not on Duce Staley that he hasn't really developed. But
his second year was kind of. I mean, this was.
What I'm saying. We're still talking about his fumbles. We're still talking he did get better vision, and I'll give that to him. But as a player, the game slows down for you,
bro. His first year, but his first year, he broke LaShawn McCoy record from scrimmage. Like he my thing is he don't get there without Duce Staley coaching him up.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like he does it.
I definitely agree that from the beginning of Miles Sanders, when he first started playing, you saw a definite growth from him.
Listen, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you when. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Remember that game, the Detroit game? He fumbled 3 times. Bro. I remember that game vividly. And it was one of those games where he got face masked like crazy. Like his whole head got turned all the way around. Like 3 fumbles. From that game on, after that, hand fumbled not one time the rest of that season. Not one time. And that's not something that's just like, okay, I'm gonna wake up and not fumble anymore. He went through something. That's not. You're a running back and you're a rookie. You're fumbling like that early on. He had to get pulled out of that dark place. And I'm telling you, Duce Staley helped him with that. You know what I'm saying? You can see it on the sideline how much they respect Duce Staley, like how much they respect his voice. When Duce talking, they listen. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen different things like the sound effects, from the Super Bowl and different things, different games like that. And you hear Duce. You see the guys listening when Duce is talking. You see them stop. Duce says the things that gets me going. I'm not even playing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I totally believe in him as a leader of men.
Boston Scott.
Boston Scott regressed this year. Like, my thing is the only people I can, and I'm not putting 100% of Miles Sanders on Duce Staley. I love Duce. And I'm not hating on Duce.
That regression calling real quick.
Yes and no. Look. I love Duce Staley. Duce Staley's my guy. I'm not sitting here hating on Duce Staley. My thing is that Miles Sanders is very talented. He got better, yes, and you can attribute some of that to Duce Staley, but a lot of that you could just attribute to a person playing the game. A lot of the stuff that he was going through in the beginning of his career was not hitting the right holes, not seeing the field properly. Okay, I'll give you the fumbles. He still fumbles too much, but I'll give you that. He stopped fumbling after a very bad performance, but that's really all I can give Duce. I've never seen Duce really have to handle anything. And right now, through the adversity, where's Duce? Duce isn't a voice. Duce isn't out here yelling, yo, this is what's going down. This is what I want. Talk to me. He hasn't even gotten an interview. I mean, I love Duce, but he's not fighting for me to be fighting for him. That's kind of how I feel right now. I feel like
he can't be out here, just to push back a little bit. He can't be out here, showing his ass. Like, he'd be out
the door. He'd be out the door with Doug.
His position. He can't cut his nose to spite his face. You know what I'm saying? He can't be out here. He can't be out here demanding, because I've been here this long, I deserve the coach's spot. I deserve an opportunity. Like, at the end of the day, they know. Duce is an option. And the only person we've interviewed so far was I think that dude Brody from the Panthers. Like, we haven't really. We're actually behind the 8 ball on interviews. Most teams are on their second round of interviews. We're just getting to our first round. You know what I'm saying? So there's a chance the guys that we want may end up being snatched up by the Jets. Snatched up by the Texans. Snatched up anywhere else. And there may be a chance where Duce may be your best option. Just based on.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't even be mad if he was our head coach. Right. I'm just saying, I don't see anything that
part of me would feel more comfortable with him being our head coach and having an offensive coordinator that's like really good, rather than having a defensive minded head coach and then saying, all right, Duce, here's your chance. And then we're really like missing that extra offensive mind. Right. At least if he was a head coach and you had an offensive coordinator, then that's something you can bounce things off of.
I feel you, Brendan. And then here's another thing too. If you let's say you make Duce your head coach, right? It's much more palatable for the city. The city can deal with that. The city can swallow that easier.
Oh, facts.
If you go get a new coach out of the woodworks, or just go get anybody other than Duce Staley, by you doing that, you say, okay, we're going all in on this guy. We're making an attempt to really totally, change the needle and, take his team in an entirely new direction. There's a lot of risk with that, right? There's a lot of going all in that requires. With Duce, you can transition Duce into the head coaching role, which will then seem like less of a risk because he's already there. He's already here. Right. And if it doesn't work out, you can either demote him or he might move on to another situation. But at the end of the day, it seems like less of a risk. And you're more so, in my eyes, you're crawling before you can walk in terms of the coaching search. You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, we're behind the 8 ball. And right. if you put Duce in, it's a much easier transition for everybody. Especially given the turmoil of this past season. This past season wasn't easy on anybody, especially that Week 17 blunder. It's just that this moving forward with Duce would just truly, it'd be a safe move. It would be a
safe move. And I would even go back from 17 to Week 16 against Dallas. The fact that we stopped running the ball when that first drive, when we were just running the rock, and then all of a sudden we just stopped, even though it worked. That is something I feel like I would hope Duce would be able to really keep going and really understand running the ball is the key to our success in this team. No matter who's at quarterback between Wentz and Hurts. Wentz and Hurts are both players that can benefit from a strong running game and make those plays happen when defenses are playing up. It's not like they're a Tom Brady. They're not Peyton Manning. They're not Drew Brees. that can stand in the pocket and just slice the team up every which way when they're in their primes. These guys do need a running game no matter which quarterback you go with, and those are our only two options at this point.
Yeah, no, I would like. Look, I love Duce. I just don't want to see him. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm excited as him being our coach. Like, I just don't think he's done much, to be honest. But it is what it is. I mean, shout out to Cameron Holmes. He wants to know how to get one of those Fire Howie Roseman shirts. Very, very easy. I made it very, very easy. Just www.teespring.com/QB Factory, because that's what Howie Roseman wants to bring. So definitely, if you want to get one of those shirts, check it out.
Yo, in his press conference, he was like, "I severely regret saying that." I was like,
"Yo,
you look terrible. Like, you just look terrible."
He really does. And from top to bottom, from the beginning of this season to obviously now, this Eagles organization has just been in a rut. It just seems like nobody knows who's not even in charge. It just feels like nobody wants to take a position. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of like everybody's coming into work and just kind of lollygagging around, just kind of floating around. So, right. I mean, it's good to see that we're making decisions and trying to get somebody in here. I would love to see there be an emphasis on the community feel, and that's like kind of a lack of better terms. Like when Doug first came, I felt like it was like the team was a family, and like after 2017, we lost that like heavily. You know, it went from like the team doing the cha-cha slide or the electric slide on the sideline after turnovers to Jalen Mills being the only one, you know, celebrating when something happened.
He should be the last one celebrating.
Facts. But at the end of the day, it's like there's no type of family anymore.
We lost those voices too, though. We lost Chris Long. We lost LeGarrette Blount. We lost Jay Ajayi. This year, we lost Malcolm Jenkins. We've lost Patrick Robinson. We lost Nigel Brown. We lost a lot of guys that were on that team.
Troy Smith was a big voice, believe it or not.
Yeah, so it's just we lost all that. And like you said, I mean, it kind of feels like I'm sure you guys watched The Last Dance when you just saw the Bulls GM just his head blow up after all the championships they won, and then just everything kind of went downhill from there for at least the GM position. But how he got that whole head blow up thing after one championship, and I just feel like it just feels like that people when they leave this team, they talk about Howie and how he's a weasel and how like they just didn't feel respected, and unless something happens where all of a sudden we just flip a switch and Howie looks like the genius that we used to claim him to be, he's going to be the reason why he holds us back for the next year or two.
Yeah, real quick, we're about to hit the 1 hour mark. Let's get it. We're still going to bring out some fire content. I appreciate everybody chilling. We got 40 people in the chat. Everybody make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Go check the links in the description for my boy Tone DeShield's channel. Be sure to go check him out. Subscribe if you like it. I'm sure you will. Quick little announcement. We will be having Zach Berman, Eagles insider. I believe he works for The Athletic now. We'll be on the show Tuesday at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. That's this Tuesday at 9:15 a.m. It will be alive. I know it's a little early, but I hope everybody can come. You know, I don't even know how I'm going to be up, but I will. I'm going to get the coffee ready. So, all right. So we're talking draft. And we're talking cute. We're talking coaching too. You know what I'm saying? So, and it all goes kind of hand in hand right now. You know what I mean? What do you think? And, you know, it is what it is. I know we'll probably be wrong, but like, what do you think is going to be the headline of the draft? Every year, I feel like there's that one story or that one trade that everybody's like, dang, but when this happened, is there a certain player, a certain trade that you're looking out for or something like that you think is going to happen this draft?
You can go first, Brendan.
I think the biggest thing that would be a surprise and that would just throw everyone to like, whoa, is if the Jaguars moved up to get that number 1 pick by the Jets, completely ruining that chance for themselves and still not drafting Trevor Lawrence. I feel like that would be a big headline for this coming up draft. And I mean, I'd be sitting there like, wow, like you got the number 1 pick and the guy that's like 99% supposed to go number 1 doesn't, and they grab like a Justin Fields or somebody. Imagine what I think it would make it even bigger if they don't draft the Justin Fields and they draft someone else like that quarterback from BYU or something. I think that would be what would blow up the headlines for draft day.
Yeah, like I don't see them going too far beyond Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields if they go quarterback. Like, there's no way you got the number 1 pick and you screw up that bad. You deserve to get fired that day. If you
Mitchell Trubisky, was he number 1 or number 2?
No,
or?
he was like number 8 or something.
He was a top 10 pick for sure, but he was
I thought he was number 1.
He went to North Carolina. Nah, negative.
At least he ain't Lane Johnson. You know what I'm saying? You could be wrong, but he doesn't play for our team. I messed that one up.
I was in the same round at least.
But yeah, like I don't see them. I don't see them screwing up that bad. The Jaguars don't see me as that type of organization to really make that dumb of a decision. Especially at this point, I think they learned their lesson from that Blake Bortles situation. So I definitely see them going Trevor Lawrence. I don't see them missing with that. If they don't go Trevor Lawrence, they're going to go Justin Fields. Because at this point, it's pretty much who you like more. They both have stats that are like jaw dropping, right? And neither of them won the championship this year. So I personally put them in the same pot. At the end of the day, they both, like I said, it's pretty much who you like more. Does this guy fit my offense better than this guy? Do I feel like this guy fit the city, of what we bring to the table?
Right.
Like that's pretty much what it depends on. Anything beyond that, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions tried to trade up, or I wouldn't be surprised if Denver tries to trade up and get Justin Fields or one of those quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this other quarterback, Zach Wilson, who's clearly from BYU, that people like. I don't know too much about him, but again, like I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys traded up for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping them from what's stopping them from saying, let's get away from this Ezekiel Elliott contract. Let's package him with this pick and move up.
I mean, Tony Pollard's a solid backup, so that's not out of
right. And to make it even crazier, Tony Pollard, just based off of these past couple seasons, he looks better in that offense than Ezekiel Elliott, and he's cheaper. If they can get away from and they just pay Zeke, if they can get away from Ezekiel's contract and move up in the draft and get a quarterback,
that would be a pretty big headline. That would be pretty big.
That'd be a huge headline. That's my pick. I had to work it out. I had to go down the rabbit hole of like, okay, but that's my headline. The Cowboys trading up and packaging the pick with Ezekiel Elliott. Now, what team will take it?
Yeah, that would be, I don't know, too many teams that want to pay a running back that much money.
And honestly, the top couple of teams actually have running backs. I mean, the Jaguars have that Jackie Robinson kid. He's pretty good.
Right. And they didn't even draft him. They got him undrafted. But again, the Cowboys pick is still a top 10 pick. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you can still get a quality guy to help your team. If you feel like the guy that you want isn't there, or the guy that you did want, he's not there, you just want to trade back a little bit. Like, it's just, I think that'd be a huge headline, the Cowboys trading up in this draft.
I think, and this might surprise some people, it might not surprise some people. Before I get into it, Yodat, y'all already know the general in the building. Shout out to my guy Philly Fresh, says Yodat. What's up, Mr. 1K? You know what I'm saying? I need to get it. I'm gonna get a shirt that says Mr. 1K, but I'm not. If I had to, this might surprise some people. Like I said, it might not. I'm gonna say that 4 quarterbacks are gonna go in the top 12. All right, I'm going to say
I could see
4
that.
different quarterbacks are going to go in the top 12. I think the top 3 picks will end up being a quarterback. And then I think Kyle Trask, maybe Mac Jones, depending on what he does at the combine, might sneak their way up into that top 12 position. So I think it's going to be a very QB heavy, first round. And I think it'll help the Eagles. If that's the type of situation that we fall into, like say, the first 3 picks are quarterback, and then we get left tackle at the Bengals, I think, are right before us. Let's say they go and take Penny. Now you're picking from 3 great players. What if somebody calls you and they're like, yo, we really want Jamar, and we're 2 behind you? I might do that because then you're picking between Devonta Smith and you find yourself in a position that trading back isn't as bad as it is, if you're only picking between certain people. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel you.
So I mean that's what I'm looking at.
I won't be surprised if the Eagles think a guy they want is going to go early and they trade up. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles trade up because they want to get away from some contracts. So we're at right now. I wouldn't be surprised if the we can know because Brandon Brooks is coming back healthy, Lane Johnson is coming back healthy, or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles trade Brandon Brooks, to the Bengals to move up a spot, and package the pick with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't be surprised. They need an O-lineman, someone who's established. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles, try to trade, with the Atlanta Falcons. They might send
Sure, I'll send you Ertz because didn't they just give up Hooper?
They might send Ertz. Yeah, Ertz. That's how I was trying to say. Yeah, we could package Ertz with the pick, move up. Like the Eagles, I wouldn't be surprised because they want to get away from contracts. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to trade up just to make sure or guarantee they get Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I would love Minka. Now y'all got me saying Minka. I would love Micah Parsons. I would love Micah Parsons. I would love.
Yeah. For some reason, like people have me saying Minka too, and I'm like, hold on, wait. I know that name. Like I got a friend named Micah. Like I don't know why. Like we keep calling him Minka. Like
I keep thinking of Minka.
If Wentz does get traded, do you guys think he would be traded before or after the draft?
Before.
It would have to be after. I don't think we can fiscally do it before the draft. I mean,
it would have to be a certain time.
It would. I believe it's like June 1st to June 3rd is the 3 days that we would, unless he changed his contract. We have to do it like while there's like a 3-day window where the new season's about to start and the old season's over, and there's like some weird little. It's on the over the cap. It's a whole article, but there's like this weird little 3-day lull that we can trade him and we wouldn't lose as much money. We would still lose a lot of money, but we wouldn't lose nearly as much. So,
but it has to be after.
It would have to be. I want to say it's June 1st to June 3rd. I want to say it's like the June 1st something. There's an actual name for it. I'm totally spacing on it. We are doing a mock draft and everything, so I'll go over everything. But yeah, we have some time. But if let's just say he called up tomorrow, just to make your question, more a little bit. If he called up tomorrow and was like, listen, I'll change my, contract and whatever, I would love to get rid of him before the draft because realistically, if we're not going to keep him, I would love to get some more weapons.
Draft capital, yeah.
That's my thing.
We need it.
My thing is like once, that's the biggest question. Like we already said, like, do you want to be here? It's just that simple. If you do, then all right, we're going to draft based on that. We're going to move forward with that. We're going to get you a dynamo at wide receiver, or we're going to get, change the fabric of this defense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, matter of fact, remember you brought up the point they're going to have to trade him in that window after the draft. The first pick, their pick in the draft, their first round pick will determine if he's going to stay here or not. Let's think about it. Like if they go with wide receiver, that means, okay, we want to give Wentz help, like legitimate help. If they go linebacker, trading him is now off the table.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Now, my thing is if you go into that draft, if you're going into that draft and in the back of your mind, as Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman, you're thinking in the back of your mind, I'm going to keep Wentz. Wentz is my future. I personally would be pissed off if we went through that whole draft and still had Hurts. If that is your thought process, I'd be more okay if you said, like, if you got a second round out of Hurts, you know what I'm saying, and then drafted like a 5th round quarterback or something like that. And we did it like every other franchise does. We have a solid, if Nate Sudfeld's going to be our backup, then let Nate Sudfeld be our backup. But we can't go in next year with the dynamic that we have right here. Shout out to Chandler Jackson. This is a monumental moment. My man never comes in the lives. Chandler Jackson works for Unbelievable. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? He hating, but it's all good. Yeah. I welcome the smoke. You know what I'm saying? I love the smoke. But no, shout out to my guy, man. We're gonna get him on here real soon again. But no, I realistically, all jokes aside, we can't go into next year with the same dynamic that we have right now. It's just not gonna work, no matter who the coach is. You know what I'm saying? And it's not fair to Jalen. It's not fair to Carson. It's me personally. I've been said this. I think Carson needs to kind of man up and just kind of just stay shut and fight for his job, because at the end of the day, this is a business, and
money. You took a contract, do thick and thin, my guy. This is a marriage, bro.
Exactly. I understand what you're saying, but let's say he loses a job and then we got him sitting on our bench with all that money,
and nobody wants to trade for him because, the reason you said, he got exposed.
Right now,
that's my thing. You have to go. That's what I'm saying. You have to either go into this all in, and one of these people have to not be here next year. You put yourself in that position.
You know what? You're right. Point blank, one of them cannot be here because we can't take this. We can't take this ghost. We can't take this demon into the next season. We can't. Exactly. We can't. Right. We got to slay this dragon in the summer.
Exactly.
Because you can't, especially with a new coach. You don't want to start off on that foot. You don't want to put that kind of pressure on that new coach throughout the season. Oh, is he going to pick Hurts? Is he going to pick Wentz? At the end of the day, one of them guys ain't going to be here. And you know what? I think it's going to be. I think Hurts is going to get traded. You know what? I'm leaning more towards that. You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, it's money involved. It's money. Money talk, BS walk. And Jeffrey Lurie, he got rid of Doug Peterson because he knew damn well he paid Carson Wentz all that money, and he telling himself, we're gonna make this shit work. We're gonna make it work.
They have to. So they almost either have to or they have to, like I said, cut ties. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So I'm just saying, therefore, if I haven't Hurts here, you're implying that Wentz is the guy. You know what I'm saying? You move on from Hurts, and it is what it is. You fall on your sword and you live to fight another day. At the end of the day, we know Carson Wentz has a reservoir of talent. We know he has a reservoir of talent. It's there. We've seen it. We just have to tap in. It's like we got to strike that oil with him. It's possible. I believe it's very possible. There's no way a guy that's dropped off that far, this fast, and it just seems so unrealistic. So I feel like we can definitely get him back to normal. I'm a Carson Wentz fan. I'm not going to lie about that.
There had to be some internal stuff going on.
It has to be. It had to be. And like I said, the moment they drafted Hurts, that's when the specter was born. The demon was born, and he was just growing and growing and growing. And Wentz has never really been comfortable in this city from a position standpoint. Last season was maybe his most comfortable, and he did what he did. His other season when he was most comfortable was the 2017 season before he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, one of those guys can't be here. I think because Jeffrey Lurie know how much money he tied up into that kid, his ego won't let him trade him away. His ego will tell him, make it work.
Part of me feels like you can probably maybe get more for Hurts than you can Wentz. You figure Hurts, although his passing wasn't phenomenal, but you saw enough out of him to know that he can get you points. He can move around the pocket. He can move around the field. And he's only going to be in his second year. You potentially could package something and maybe work your way back into the first round. I could be just talking, but I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Quickly shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We're at 45 right now. Be sure to hit that like button. Go on over into the disc. I can't talk. Wow. Go into the description. Check the link. Check my guy Tone out. We got the link to his channel down there. Appreciate everybody that's going crazy. I don't know if you guys read these comments, but the arguments are some of the funniest. I appreciate that everybody keeps it respectful, but you could tell when people want to curse, and some of the replacements you can tell hilarious. It's hilarious. I love it though. No, look, man. I forgot what we were. We were talking about Hurts and Wentz. And it comes down to we have assets, so if you have those assets, you can't just let them sit there. I don't know, man. It's just one of those off seasons. I feel like we could sit here until we're blue in the face and tell them what they need to do, and they're still going to go out there and get a kicker. So it's
we signed a punter. We did for some
because that was our problem. Cam Johnson was our problem.
He's, I think, a restricted free agent or something like that.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to really pay him. But to MGS Talks Eagles, we are going to be doing 32 collaborations. So we're starting with the Jaguars and Jets. We have creators, YouTube channel people, whatever you want to call them. We're going to do them probably next week. We'll start it off. And we're going to have a content creator from each different fan base pick for their own team. So that's how we're going to do our mock draft. So just bear with us. It might take a little bit, but I promise you, we will have you.
Hey, it's like a new episode every week. Just look out for it.
That's what we're trying to do, and we'll talk to them. You'll figure out why they want to get them, and I get to meet a whole bunch of new people. Yeah, no, that's really the only reason I have this channel is to collab with people. Because, but either way, I mean, we still got like 35 people in here. I think we're gonna probably start heading out pretty soon. Yeah. But any final thoughts? How are you guys feeling? What are your, just what are your thoughts about what's going on so far? I mean, it's been a crazy off season already so far, but it's probably just going to get crazier. You know what I'm saying? So where are you guys mentally going into tomorrow?
I mean, it's been a wild offseason so far, at least for us Eagle fans, because every other day there's been a new headline from the end of the season, from the tanking and putting Sudfeld in. Granted, if Sudfeld would have killed it, then it would have been a whole different discussion. But the fact that tanking and then possible Doug and then actually Doug getting fired and then Wentz and blah, 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 it's been a whirlwind. So nothing pretty much can surprise me unless we'd sign Adam Gase to be our head coach. Then I'd be like, well, this sums it up. But I really don't know. I mean, nothing can really surprise me at this point.
I feel you, Brendan. I guess for me, it's one of those things that once we get our coach, I'll be able to properly assess the landscape.
Facts.
By us not having anyone at the helm, it kind of gives it. I feel like it's the Wild West. Like we have no direction, we have no soul. I feel like we're just wandering right now. And the moment we get that coach that can establish some sort of dominance, respect. I'm not gonna lie. We need someone who's willing to punch Howie in the mouth. And I think, and I think Robert. I can see Robert Staley saying "What did you just say to me?" You know what I'm saying? Doug Peterson just seems like a nice guy. Let's get ice cream, you guys.
Right.
Robert Staley just seems like the one that when you see that vein pop out his head, you change a little bit how you talk to him.
He's an alpha.
There we go. He's an alpha.
He's been waiting to say that for so long. I'm glad that he made it this long.
Seriously, without a doubt, he just screams alpha, even more than Doug Peterson. You know what I'm saying? All respect to Doug Peterson. He gave us the greatest gifts that he can give us, the Super Bowl. But Robert Staley just screams alpha, and we need someone who's an alpha, like Duce Staley. He screams alpha to me. You know what I'm saying? We need someone like that to change the fabric of this team. And we need an alpha on, our defense. We need an alpha on offense. We need guys like that. We need our version of a Michael Thomas, you know what I'm saying? Or Devonta Adams. We need our version of that. We need our version of a Buda Baker. You know what I'm saying? We need guys on defense that show so much through their play that it just bleeds off into everyone else. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we have a chance to really, even though it seems dark and the cap situation is crazy, money, you can move money around. We can work with that. But to new coach, we have talent in this building. Let's not get it twisted. We have talent in this building. We can compete.
All right.
Most of our games, if you really think about it, nobody beat us. We beat ourselves. A
lot of turnovers.
Think about all our games. No, in my humble opinion, no one just beat us. I feel like we put ourselves in every position that we were in this season. Every single position. That's exactly what I feel. And I feel like if you get the right person in the coaching room, you put the right personnel in there, guys that can make those, 50-50 plays when the game's on the line. We just need guys that are just, consistent no matter what happens. The Seattle Seahawks had DK Metcalf. He's consistent no matter what happens. You know what I'm saying? He gives you what he gives you no matter what. We need a guy that's going to just come in and just make the other team game plan.
Right.
And make them. I want to have talent to the point where people say, we got a game plan for that guy. We
Right.
didn't have anybody on our offense that they said, okay, we got a game plan for him. Not one person, not one.
I think all of Philadelphia can agree with this. I would love to see like a strong-willed press conference for once, not that's not the snarky comments, the backhanded, jokes. I would love it, like you said, an alpha, but not just an alpha, to kind of like to piggyback on what you were saying with the whole, Doug Peterson not really putting his foot down. It's I can kind of see how I relate to that. If I'm at work and I get mad, I just kind of shut down and I just don't deal with the people and I move on. You can't do that when you have 53 to 90 men watching your every move, looking for you to be the leader. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we need somebody, like you said, that's going to kind of sit there and be like, wait, hold on, what you just said to me? Like, we need that. We need that strong force in here, because it's like we don't have anybody, even as a player, that comes in and just like demands respect off rip. That's why, to even go back to what Philly Insider Podcast was saying, that, Micah Parsons does have a little bit of attitude to him, and that's what we need. We need somebody that's going to shoot. I want to see some NFL, like the blitz, the league type stuff. I want to see men just standing over you like,
that game against Seattle, that first drive defensively where we got like 2 15-yard penalties in a row. But they were going sick. I was actually kind of pumped. I was like, people were texting me like, "Yo, your team's playing dumb." I'm like, "Nah, they setting a tone right now. Like they're letting."
If we're gonna suck, we can go out there and fight. That's all I want. I just want to see.
Like, don't beat yourself. Give yourself a fair shot to glory. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at Chase Young on the sideline with the Washington football. He's a captain in his rookie season. Like you see how I see how he moves. You know what I'm saying? He's communicating we need someone that's just like that heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't had a Brian Dawkins type in a long time. Some say we had that in Malcolm Jenkins, but Malcolm Jenkins, he was a leader, but I don't know. Like I still didn't get Brian Dawkins like passion, right? Ray Lewis.
We ain't gonna get that for a minute. That's a rare breed.
It's about your coach allowing your players to be who they are, and I don't feel like we do that. And even in the beginning of it, like when Doug first got here, when he was playing, Future at the practices, and he was bopping with his players and dapping up his players and making jokes about ice cream. That's the Doug Peterson that let his players be who they wanted to be. And that was the Doug Peterson that led this team. And I feel like we kind of started asking him to coach this team after 2017, because that's when we started getting older and had to switch to the younger side. And we started being like, Doug, we need you now to teach these people. We need you to coach these people. And I think that's where he's not that guy. I think if you give him a good team, he'll make good things happen. But if you're asking him to build a team and I'm not saying build them as far as picking your roster. I'm telling you, like, going to practice it every day and saying, no, you need to stand like this. I don't see that in him. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you.
That's what we need. That's really what we need right now. And I know, who was it? Somebody asked me about the Kyrie thing. I did my whole live reaction to the whole Harden trade. I'm not going to talk about that too much. We got Harden. The Sixers don't. That's the,
Hey, listen, like I said, I personally feel like we dodged the bullet with that kid, man. Like,
let's talk about it real quick, because people want to know anyway.
I mean, he older than me. Let me stop. I call him a kid, but but my point is about the whole James Harden thing, man. Everything that Philly is when it comes to sports and like mentality, he's not it. He's not it.
Facts.
I'm gonna be honest. The way he carried himself in Houston, it won't fly here. He ain't
trusting no process.
Like I'm sorry, like just all coming in out of shape like that. That's not only disrespectful to your craft. That's disrespectful to the people that you play with. That's disrespectful to your teammates. Disrespectful to that new black head coach that got an opportunity, and you making his job that much harder. You showing your ass like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to bow out gracefully. There's a way. But you made this so murky. So, and then on top of that, you partying with little baby, giving our cars and money, and you coming late, you're not showing up to things. It's just like, my thing is, if you want to trade, cool, but there's a way to handle business. Right. That's how I feel. I feel like there's always a way to handle business, and he got what he wanted at the end of the day. And I'm a firm believer that the grass ain't always green on the other side, my brother. It ain't. And let me tell you this, Daryl Morey, he been with that man. He been with that man for damn near a decade in Houston. Damn near a decade. He was the one that got him, traded for James Harden to get him over there. You know what I'm saying? He knows James Harden. It's the reason he didn't trade for him. He could have got him if he wanted him. Let's keep it G. The relationship is there. It's an easy move to make. Ben Simmons and whatever, and you package some picks in. Listen, whatever you guys, pretty much everything y'all gave them, the Sixers, they could have got a better deal from us. They could have got more.
Maybe pick wise. I don't think necessarily. I mean, LeVert.
Like,
who are you guys? I mean, I guess Simmons and Maxey. Yeah, that's true.
Not taking nothing away from Karis LeVert. When you really think about it, they probably could have got more just players from a player perspective. They could have got more, more upside, maybe in talent. You know what I'm saying? Maybe.
I thought LeVert went to the Pacers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So Rockets didn't even get him.
And then the Rockets didn't even get him.
Rockets got a weird deal. They just got a whole bunch of future picks.
Oh, listen though, I kind of like what the Rockets did. The Rockets won this trade. They did very well. They did very well in terms of maintaining a presence in the playoff race while still gaining their future back. Remember, by them sending LeVert, by them receiving and then sending LeVert to the Pacers, they get Victor Oladipo.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about that roster, John Wall, who looks he's healthy. John Wall, Victor Oladipo, and then they got the young guy Christian Wood who's coming along, and then they got DeMarcus Cousins coming off the bench, doing what he does. They got a new coach. That team is set up to that team is set up to compete, and they're set up to build on it as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a good situation, and as far as the Sixers go, Daryl Morey could have pulled that trigger. He could have been pulled it. But he sees something. He sees that James Harden is 31. He sees that James Harden is completely out of shape. Completely.
Yeah. See, my thing is, as far as like from a Nets perspective, from a Nets fan perspective, and I'm probably in the minority as a Nets fan, how I think of this team, but you couldn't take Kyrie with you. I mean, it's enough having one bad, one diva on the team that just doesn't seem to. And they're both like the opposite ends of the spectrum as far as a diva. Like, because I feel like Kyrie his heart is in the right place and he wants to be a good person, but a lot of the things he does and says just kind of it doesn't correlate with his message, if that makes sense. So it's like, it's nice to want to, help your people and up your people and all that, but you have to have a platform to do that. And when you just continuously are sitting out of games, continuously not showing up to your job that gave you that platform, that kind of hampers your message. Now, on the other side, I feel like James Harden doesn't give a damn about his people, because not like you said, not just the coach, not just the fans that want to come see you play, but what about DeMarcus Cousins that want to prove that he's a real player again, that wants to get that bag again? What about John that wants to get that bag again? You basically told these guys that they're not good enough, and you don't do that. You just do not do that. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, like he showed himself. He showed his ass, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I already had like a weird view of James Harden, but it was more so just about basketball. Now it's like from a personal perspective, you just seem like a dick, bro. Like, part of my life, like I know I curse a little bit, but like it's just, bro, like you just didn't carry yourself like a man to me. Like a man.
And now we got to deal with him. And I say it a lot jokingly, but like it's the truth, man. Like I said from the beginning, even before when Kyrie was on Cleveland, I can bring my nephews on. I hated Kyrie. I just I never liked Kyrie. There was something about him in his, I don't know. Maybe it's his face. I don't know. But I just never liked him.
So, what it is.
Yeah, maybe that has to be it. But now you look at how he's acting, and it's like, what did we do to you? The Nets didn't do anything to you. Why are you sitting out on us? Like,
Steve Nash is perplexed. He's like, what?
Yeah, it's like, what? You wanted a new coach. We went and got you a new coach. You wanted DeAndre Jordan's fat ass. We got you DeAndre Jordan on the team. Like, you wanted, what do you want? What do you want? We got the city jerseys for you. Like, he inspired some of the city jerseys. Like, what else do you want? So You add that up with Harden, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a whole lot of Chick-fil-A, a whole lot of Wawas in that locker room because I don't see him caring. Maybe once the playoffs come, he'll start caring. I don't know. On paper, I'm very happy, obviously, that we have James Harden because on paper it looks really good. It's going to be a lot of fun to play on 2K. But other than that, we just gave up our future. And I don't even care about the picks, if I'm being honest, because the pick swaps, we've picked very well. So I don't care if we're only getting second-round picks. We've turned those second-round picks into some good players, so I'm not 100% worried about that. I'm more worried about now we have only DeAndre Jordan as our center. So, like, that's more where I'm at. And as far as the Sixers, I give you guys 110% credit. I even said it in my live reaction that I give you guys kudos for not jumping the gun because I feel like you guys could have, like you said,
that would have been that was a moment of desperation. Because
that was, and Maury said in one of his press conferences, only reason I know this because I'm surrounded by Sixers fans, but Maury said in one of his press conferences that they have a lot of assets, but they're not going to use them when the time's not, unless the time is right. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing. This was one of those situations that he could have blew a lot of those assets, and the time is not necessarily right.
It's only 10 games in the season. Like, let's be real. Like, it's only 10 games in the season, and the Nets have a chance to really, put this team, to get the team gelling. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have plenty of time. It's not like it happened too late. But like you said, Maury just I like that. There's a what's the word I'm looking for? He has a reputation of wheeling and dealing, right? He has a reputation of not being afraid to pull the trigger. And, not having that reputation is a gift and a curse. Having that reputation requires a lot of responsibility because not only do you have the responsibility of knowing where to aim, you have to have the responsibility to know when to not shoot. And I think he exercised for the first, because let's be real, this was the first moment, in my opinion, in terms of front office adversity. This was the first moment of adversity that the front office faced. There was a dilemma. Do we trade Ben Simmons for James Harden? And let's be real, Ben Simmons made it very easy to do that these past few games. Let's be real, he made it very easy. Granted,
36 minutes. I'm out.
Right. Granted, he made both of them, but and he had 12 assists. I gotta admit, the team put up over 140 points without him. So that tells me something. Yeah. Like you can look at it like, oh wow, Ben Simmons didn't put up anything. What the hell? Or you can look at it like, wow, that team was just flowing and he was facilitating and everybody was just getting open for all these threes and he was playing great defense. Like it's how you look at it. And let's be honest, if the team is putting up 130, 140 points a game, does it really matter how we get it?
No.
Facts.
Points are points.
Yeah, I have respect for the Sixers. I honestly go hard on the Sixers just because of the position I'm in right now. Like I report for the Eagles, so it's like,
I respect it, my guy. Like you
gotta have fun with it.
It's a banner you carry.
Exactly, you gotta have fun with it. It is what it is. I understand where we are right now, but I hope and I pray that whatever Kyrie's going through, I hope that God touches him and just talks to him and says it's not Brooklyn's fault. Go through it during the off season, because we've been waiting so long for a championship. So, yes, I know, Kev. I know you've been telling me. The Celtics still suck, though. But listen, man, he said, how did we shift into the NBA? I don't know. I don't know where we are anymore.
It'd be like that sometimes.
We just talking at this point.
Man, listen, you never know. Listen, the Flyers just started playing again, so we might shift into it. You never know. Like,
I think they scored. They said,
"Hey,
Philly
I like
what's the
I'm a fan, man. I'm actually glad hockey's back. I like watching it. Like, it's one of those sports I love watching. Where were you?
I'm a Devil. Suck.
Oh, Devil. That's funny. I went to college.
What?
Where I have weird teams. I like mainly like around the same area. Like they're all basically like Jersey or Philly. It's like my whole family was born in New York. My whole family was born in New York. So like my dad was basically a 4 for 4. You like the Yankees, the Knicks, the Giants, and whatever hockey team you want to call as like
the Rangers.
I guess
Islanders, yeah.
Islanders.
Yeah, it depends on who you really want to call. But so I just kind of went. Other than the Yankees, that was the only team I could not pick against. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I became an Eagles fan. That's how I became a Nets fan. That's how I just young. I was like, oh, we gonna argue, pops.
Bro,
we gonna argue.
I feel it's so funny because when it comes to the hockey thing, I didn't get turned on to hockey until college, right? And my college was was about 45 minutes from Pittsburgh, so the Penguins fans was live, and then I was there when they won the Stanley Cup, like bruh. So my greatest moments of hockey were with the Penguins, but coming back to the city, I'm Philly to the death of me. So like I'm rocking with the Flyers. Like granted, the Penguins is what got me interested in hockey. But listen, I'm about that orange and black.
The Penguins did have a stretch though. I mean, you can't knock them. Sidney Crosby, that dude's a beast in his prime.
At all, man.
Yeah, I remember Yami. I used to love hockey back in the day. I didn't even cap. They just used to fight. I just used to love watching them fight. But go ahead, Brandon. My bad.
No,
I remember also in Connecticut. So I'm originally from Connecticut. Me personally, I was the firstborn in my family in Connecticut, and we used to have the Whalers, Hartford.
Oh, Hartford. Okay, I almost said Stanford.
Not too far. Connecticut's mad small. It's literally like the size of a penny.
That's about an hour away.
I mean, everything's very close, but we've had like some pretty good teams, so it was kind of fun to watch. And I had a lot of friends that one of these kids I went to school with in Newington actually plays for the Kings. So it's pretty cool. I've been able to meet some cool people from hockey. But either way, man, now we're just talking about hockey.
We're sports fans. Like this is what happens.
Yes, sir.
So this started off as a show. Now it's just a backroom talk. We're just kicking it. We'll grab some beer and we're just gonna kick it. But man, we're gonna end this up now. We're gonna end this up. We still got 40 people in here, so please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go check the link in the description. Everybody's saying that this was live, so definitely go check out my guy Tone DeShields because he is, the big reason why this was such a cool live. But look, I think this is one of our bigger lives. So,
yes, sir. Hey, let's get it.
Hey, man, listen. I'm a big believer in energy. So if the energy's right, we gotta build on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I really enjoyed this live. I want to say to you guys, I'm grateful for you guys just giving me the opportunity to kick it. Talk Eagles, talk NBA, talk NHL a little bit. I'm real big on community, man. I'm real big on just building like that healthy ecosystem of creators and all of us just eating and all of us just putting out dope content to the people and just being the best version of ourselves, bro. I'm real big on that, man. I'm just real big on heavy motivation, heavy pushing the culture forward, heavy about investing in not just myself but the people around me. And seriously, like I'm a firm believer that if I can eat, we all can eat, and if we all can eat, hey, listen, let's feed the city, let's feed the block, let's do it.
Let's go.
Exactly. Miles, it just means the more food we got to get. All right, you know what I'm saying? I've never turned anyone away from the table. Let me put it like that. But we'll be back tomorrow. I don't know if Brandon might, join us if he's free.
I'm like a every other day type of guy.
Yeah, you have.
Hey, don't forget to tell everyone here about what's happening on next Tuesday.
Yes, sir. I was just about to get that to that. So tomorrow I will be live again. I'm going to be talking to some people, so we're probably going to have another guest. But next Tuesday, we are going to have Zach Berman on from The Athletic. Inside everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be 9:15 in the morning. I know. I couldn't get any.
How'd you get that? I mean, listen, you can record that. You post it another time. Like, listen, bro, like.
Now we're gonna go live. So if anybody's up, having their coffee, just come join us. Ask them whatever you want to ask, and I'm gonna have a million questions for them. So we'll talk about it.
Bro, we'll talk about it. Because think about it. The morning drive to work, some people might be at their desk playing it, bro. Like, hey, listen, man, you got the opportunity. Tune in to Philly's interview with Zach.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got
work. Listen to it while you're flipping them burgers. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Let's
yeah,
go. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
While you doing your prep work, while you
Put
doing
the
your prep
AirPod in one ear, put the baby in this arm, and nah, you can do it. It's all possible.
Exactly. So yeah, I appreciate everybody that's in here. Like I said before I go, we do have the Fire Howie merchandise out. So definitely go check that out. And we also do have the Dumb Doug shirts out. So definitely go check all that out. All the links will be in the description. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. It is Fly Eagles Fly. We are out here. Peace.